So you're basically saying the role of the government should be to help individuals that are actually trying to make a change.
Absolutely.
And make sure they remove obstacles.
Absolutely.
Because you as a private business, what you can do, you can employ a lot of people that the government could be expensive for the government to do. Which is, it's one way to look at it.
Yeah.
And I guess it's, difference of opinions, and sometimes I think we don't think about some of these different models enough, or look at examples of where they've been implemented and what were the consequences of that. And I would understand why someone would say they want to have a socialist country, because in theory it looks very, very, very attractive. But in practice, is it?
We can't compete globally.
Yeah.
If we want to think. Gambia is already, even if you look at the number of employment, right? Who's our biggest employer in the Gambia?
Yeah.
Is it the government?
Yeah.
Meaning it's already a social welfare program.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of systems don't. It's redundancies all over. But also the private sector is very difficult to find talent to be able to compete at a global level. And I think Gambia is so small, but sometimes we fail to realize that even our neighbors are moving at such a faster pace, because what we lack or should be focused on sometimes is not there. I just don't think that model works, because we also haven't shown a propensity to want to pick ourselves up from our bootstraps and do the work. Every person who's running a company will always have a conversation about the Gambian work ethic, how X, Y, and Z, and that's a double-edged sword.
All right.
Because you cannot be paying people wages that are not a living wage and expect them to be a superstar employee. So it's two sides to the coin, but we have to have that conversation around both sides of the coin. Meaning, as fipu, as Gambians, there's still a dull indifference about yalla bahna, yalla musuta bon, domi adama mo bon, wa yalla musuta bon, right? Wa yalla tamit genut ñoo buga.
Yeah.
Yalla kude dimbale bopam la de dimbale, right? So there's a shift that we also need to understand, that okay, then what a fast jump tamit jog liggéey, because liggéey kat yi duñ Gambian. The average Gambian, we protect Gambia so much, why bëgguñoo liggéeyal Gambia?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I completely agree with that. The kind of energy we put into a foreign business, foreign-owned business, it's usually not the same energy you put into Gambian-owned business. I still do not understand why that is. Maybe if someone is listening, they can get in on that. It's just a very strange, weird. I don't even know how to explain it.
It's remnants of how the country was formed.
Yeah.
It's a byproduct of how the country was formed.
So these are deeply
rooted social constructs where the colonial master realized that you have to create an ecosystem where there's one valuable position that you anoint and give it to somebody. So everybody loses focus on creating other positions that could be valuable and start looking at only that one thing. So we're always programmed to say there's only space for one, but also whatever's foreign is better.
Yeah.
So we get to the habit of saying, okay, why you? Not why us. Most communities that thrive, that successfully thrive, they always think, why not us? Not why you? So that's a deeply rooted construct which is why if you're unfamiliar, it's easier. Because kiduafi, I'm a dohal business, I'm mom because man line getting. Right? So it's something I don't know how to solve it.
Yeah.
But it exists. That's something I don't have answers to. All I could say is we as a people could start having conversations to remind people of the power of us, the philosophy of Ubuntu, you are because I am, the power of trying to be a galaxy and not individual stars. That may take an entire generation, and maybe we've lost a generation. I heard the Minister of Basic Education say the other day that 800,000 Gambians are in the basic education system. 800,000 Gambians are in the basic education system. That's the generation we should try to save.
Yeah.
By changing their mindset.
Yeah.
By instilling the concept of Badjie, which is more us. The older generation, unfortunately, it's very difficult to change somebody who's for 30 years and above has thought a certain way.
Yeah.
Right? But the benefit is that 800,000 could transform their minds by the time they are 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.